what I'm going to do is I'm going to use astrology and tarot to look at your month ahead. So hopefully it will give you something to hold on to be able to make the best of that time in front of you. It's not normally that exciting. You don't meet the Queen of Sheba every month, so you've just got to look at possibly the underflow and things that are coming your way to take advantage of, to give you that extra oomph to your year, hopefully, when it all starts snowballing into one big fantastic year. I'll see you in a minute. Bye. Hi Aries, this is going to be for the month of July. I've got these cards down here basically for myself, but I'll explain to you what I've got and what they may mean to you, especially if you've got Aries rising, but also for the same for your sun and your moon, but it's more specific for with houses with regards to your rising sign. You have got a full moon conjunct Pluto in the 10th house, so that could possibly mean that the month ahead could have something to do with wrapping up or causing an end or putting a full stop on some sort of emotional, powerful issues that have something to do with either parents or possibly career or your standing in the outside world. So that will be something I'll be looking for in your cards. You've also got Jupiter in the first house, which is fantastic. So to me, that feels like, I'm going to say self-aggrandizement. Is that the word? But it feels as if, that in the word, is it? It feels as if you're on show in some way, and you feel good and you look good, and you feel like you're on top of things. It's just a nice sort of benevolent benefit. Oh, for fuck's sake, Lindsay. Good morning, Aries. I've just started your reading, but I was just explaining that these cards down the side are the astrology. They're more for me, but I'll explain to you how they may interplay in your tarot reading. You've got Pluto and the full moon conjunct in your 10th house this next month, so for July, which can sometimes mean the wrapping up or the sort of severing of ties or the accumulation or the full stop on the end of something that could be to do with emotions or powerful emotions or some sort of subversive antics in work situation, or to do with parents in some way, or in your social standing, how people see you. So it's like you put an end to it. It's like you finish it and you say, okay, I've had enough of that. I understand it. I've wrapped it up. Let's move on. That type of feeling. Or it comes to a natural end and you have some insight into it. So that could be to do with your career. But you have got Jupiter in the first this month coming up, which is a fantastic helping hand to being wise with everything that's coming towards you, to walking proud and being full of yourself in a way that understands how the world works and feeling good about it. So that's a helping hand for you for this next month. You have also got Mars and Uranus in your second house and the North Node this month. I would link these two together. So your second house can be your values and it can be your resources. And I would sometimes link these career and resources together. I'm not going to tell you what I'm thinking because I need to see the cards first, but there are changes afoot, I would say, for you. They may not happen next month, but you may get some insight into something with regards to maybe pulling away from a work situation, a family situation, and maybe a sudden reassessment of your values, your finances, your self-worth in some way. And finally, you've got the new moon in the 5th house, which could does often feel like a fresh start with regards to either fun activities, recreation activities, going abroad even, traveling or love. So that's what I'm looking for in your reading. I'm going to try and pull them together depending on what cards come up. Just simplistic cards. There's too many on the pile for me to deal with otherwise. Okay, I'm just going to deal with what I've got because there's too much to pull in. This is what I'm thinking from just putting the cards out. The Knight of Swords makes me think of clarity, which is making me think of this full moon with Pluto in the 10th house. There may be some clarity that comes to you with regards to a work situation, something to do with parents. There's a feeling here about health, but I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. But that's just me having that feeling. It's not in the cards or anything. But it feels as if... it feels like a revelation. It feels like something comes to light and there's a sudden decision with regards to where you sit with finances. For example, you could be stuck in a rut with regards to work. You could almost be put up against a wall where you think, I know what's going on now. And you make a choice with the Strength card that puts you first, that you do it from a place where, regardless of whether your finances are covered, you do it from a place where you can live with yourself in a dignified way is a possibility. There's a possibility, whatever ability, with the Knight of Swords here as well. I mean, hold on a minute, sorry. The Jupiter card and the first house card must link with this Strength card here, because Jupiter in your first house makes me think of strength, makes me think that you're standing tall and you're very proud of some way that you've acted over the next month. Something that you've done, maybe a decision that's been in the making, and then it becomes clear and you actually go forth with it. Go on forth. That's what I've got so far. But this Knight of Swords with the Mars Uranus North Node in the second house, it could be something like you discover that somebody in your workplace, when you've been doing more than them, they were employed after you with the 10th house and this card here, they've been paid more. It's along those tracks. If it were the type of thing to do with parents, it could be something to do with the second house being opposite the 8th house and Pluto being involved. Something to do with the will. Maybe somebody discovers something that makes it very clear of where somebody else stands in a will, or where money is shared within the family household, probably from a parental figure here. But to me, it feels like, I've got some more cards to come out here, that you stand your ground, or you do something in a very dignified way with clarity here, even though you might be pushed up against a wall. It feels like afterwards you look back and you're really proud of yourself. To me, it feels like you know with this card here what's going on already. And so when this shock comes with regards to resources or finances or self-worth, where do you put yourself in a family situation? You know, do you think that maybe if it was a will, that it should be shared out in a certain way? It feels like you may already know where you sit with that, and then the clarity comes. Because it feels like somebody's telling you, or somebody's teaching you, or somebody's revealing some information to you that changes not only how you look at yourself, but it changes probably the past as well with regards to relationships in work or relationships to do with family. Okay. Okay, this is, to me, it feels like a work situation. You've got the Sun with the Knight of Swords in the centre pile here. So to that, with regards to the planets and what's going on here, there's clarity, there's a revelation, there's something that is very clearly stated or fed to you, or that is expressed to you in some way. There's even a feeling here that you're in a group when this is delivered. So this could be like changes in a work scenarios, work situations, where you may possibly feel that it's a shock. You may have an inkling now, but sometimes we get that. We know what's going on, and then when it actually comes to us, it's a shock. I know that sounds stupid, but I've done that often in my life. You sort of know, but you choose not to believe it. But you can almost smell it, you know, simmering under the surface. To me, it feels, with the 8 of Pentacles here and the 5 of Swords here, you know, it's like you're trying to make a decision, you're working hard and something's taken from you, or something comes in that is unexpected, incredibly clear. What happens afterwards, you come off better off, I guess. By the end of the month, it feels like you get your Jupiter in the first, you've got the Queen of Pentacles, and you've got the 7 of Wands here. It feels like you assert yourself in some way, in a very dignified way. You do it like a gentle lady, gentleman, you know, whichever whichever, or you do it with dignity is what I'm trying to say here. And the Queen of Pentacles is that you come away financially sound in the end, but I think that things start changing. If I could put a scenario on the month ahead for you, Aries, it feels like you walk out of the month being very wise, because Jupiter goes retrograde at the end of the month, and it becomes this sort of wise, I'm in control of things because I stood up for myself type of feeling here. So by the end of the month, you're going to be a better place than at the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month, probably until the first 3 weeks, is going to feel slightly as if like uncertainty and then revelation. So by the middle month, it feels like you're told something, you hear something, you find out something that probably affects your career, your outward standing, and your finances in some way. There's even a feeling here, the new moon and the 5th house here, that you may actually start to move towards something that you love doing, that gives you some sort of leeway to find time for yourself, to do a hobby or to do something that really makes your heart boom, boom, boom. To follow your heart in some ways, what I'm trying to say. So let me just get one card for advice for you. Okay, what went through my mind there is listen to your nose. That makes no sense whatsoever. You've got the High Priestess for advice. You know already. You can almost jump ahead and know what, if you can feel what I'm talking about now, you think, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. You won't to everybody. It's like, get yourself prepared, get yourself a little sort of nest ready to fall back into, because by the end of the month, you're going to be coming out like Big Bird with these cards here. But just soften it for yourself. Wait to see what is actually does come to fruition, but be prepared is probably what I would say here. Read below the surface. Okay, Aries, Big Bird. I'm going to leave you with that. It's just a short reading. It's just the month ahead. So I'm going to leave you with that, and good luck. Bye. Hi Taurus, I'm just going through this slowly, looking at your month ahead. So I've got these down the side for me basically, but I'll explain to you why they're here for you. You have got the full moon and Pluto in the 9th house. So there's something probably quite powerful. There's something possibly there's something internal, some internal recognition that is quite powerful with regards to your belief system. I guess that is being wrapped up. It's like, yeah, I've done that. I understand it. There was pain involved, and it comes to an end maybe in the next month. You have also got Jupiter in the 12th house. To me, that feels very like a Buddha type of feeling to it, where you're all knowing. This is a very wise feeling for your next month. The 9th house and the 12th house with Jupiter and Pluto, it feels like the forces within you, whatever the Star Wars thing is, it feels like you're aware of where you sit in life, and it feels like a very sort of powerful inner knowing, awareness, understanding over the next month. Okay, I'm getting to grips with this myself as well as I'm explaining it. You've got Mars, Uranus and the North Node in the 1st house. So to me, it feels like there's some sort of personal revelation, something quick that comes to you. I would be careful of accidents with it being your first, but some sort of, I would be careful with accidents in your 1st house. Especially, I don't know where Mars is at the moment, I didn't look at that, but I would follow where Mars is going around the chart, and I would have quiet days on the times that it hits certain parts of my chart. You have got the new moon in the 4th house here, so this has got a feeling of new possibilities, changes, excitement to do with your home life, possibly to do with your mother, to do with your family, and to do with your roots in some way. So what I'm getting from this, just looking at the astrology, has got a inner knowing, an inner understanding, belief systems, looking into yourself in a way that is very observant, very possibly quite kind on yourself, but through through trauma. You've actually got to a certain place where you pull an end to your trauma and say, okay, that's that. I may have believed that at that time, not anymore. Now I understand. But there is a possibility of changes at home, and there's a possibility, I would say, look after yourself with regards to your health. Go for checkups. Something sudden, it feels more like an accident, so don't go climbing up step ladders and all that type of thing for the next month. Keep yourself quiet, especially if it's in a home situation. Let's have a look at your cards and see what we can get out of it. Isn't that funny? Not really, it's not funny. But it's not surprising that you've got the star seed and the hidden inner strength with regards to your Pluto conjunct the full moon in your 9th house. Powerful understanding of where you sit, how far you've come, how your mind works, how your spirit works, and how it all accumulates together to formulate a belief system that you think has possibly worked for you, maybe not, but it's almost like you make some sort of realization in this next month of, and I don't know which way it will go. To me, it feels like you put it into a box. There's some belief system you have that you put into a box that has helped you and you understand something. Because you have got Jupiter in the 12th, it feels like you could even have some sort of strange psychic experience. You know, something like a dream that is a premonition, or with the hidden strength card here, you begin to know you're more than just your outside meat suit. Your birthday suit. There's more to you than meets the eye. There's a lot going on inside you. It feels as if there's two separations in this reading here already. The Sun card here, I'm taking down the new moon in the 4th house. So I'm wondering whether you're going to, in a very mundane, very simplistic way, have a house full of family and kids over the next month. People come in to stay, you trying to find your quiet time. And in that quiet time, maybe you're meditating or something, and you get these sort of, what I would say, are mini revelations or experiences, or just a knowing of, I don't know what it is. It's like something that's really important to you. Hold on. Yeah, something that may be very important to you. I suppose my mind's flicking between the 9th and the 4th here. Is why I've gone quiet, because I'm thinking something powerful overseas with regards to something new beginning at home. So there could be some travel involved here, or thoughts of travel. There could be thoughts of travel with regards to self-fulfillment here, especially with Jupiter in the 12th. You may even put an end to travel. It may be something you've done in the past and you decide to settle at home with a new moon in the 4th. You know, you could be coming back home to see family, or you could be more stable. You could be in college and coming back for your holidays. But it's like you settle down into what feels like contentment. It feels like a busy household, but you're content in yourself. It feels like a resting period to me. It feels like a realization period. Let me keep going. My Lord. Okay. This may be specific, but I'm just going to say what I'm feeling here. You have got the Sun with the Tower and the 6 of Swords here. And I'm thinking here, new moon, 4th house here. And I'm looking at accidents here, possibly with Mars and Uranus. To me,
This may sound really trivial, but it's a month ahead. This is what is coming into my mind. My little girl was young, so she was walking really early. Too much Aries in her, and she must have been just over a year old, and I was watching, as I always look at astrology, watching Mars go around, and she's got a conjunction, or quite a close conjunction, on her descendant with Mars and Uranus. And I always say, you can sort of tell cesarean babies, they normally have Virgo rising with Mars and Uranus heavily involved in the ascendant descendant normally. Not always, but seems to be in my family. And I remember thinking, okay, around that time, she's going to end up doing something silly in the house. And this is what it feels like, something quite trivial. She was running around the house, and there's a corner, a really old house, where she hit her head, and there was a gash, and she was screaming. So we have to drive like an hour to the A&E. This is what it feels like. It says, to me, it feels like be careful around things like metal and your head, and moving around and sharp objects, and that is what it feels like. It doesn't feel like a big deal. It doesn't feel like you need to be tiptoeing and looking like Inspector Clouseau around the house looking for something to go wrong, but it feels like it's got to happen inside you before it happens outside you. So if you're feeling a little bit hepped up, or a little bit high, or a little bit angry, or a little bit angsty, it's like smooth yourself out every time over the next month. Don't, it's like almost like a test on yourself to almost like not manifest something over the next month. There is again here, apart from that feeling, there is again here the Death and the Starseed card, a really strong feeling, as I said earlier, of something happening to you that has big meaning, that gives you, the Jupiter in the 12th house, a feeling of, I don't know what, these two words are complete opposites, but spiritual empowerment in a feeling that it's internal to you only, that you feel like there's a little bit more to life than just what you can see with your eyes. I don't know what it could be here. I mean, everybody has these type of experiences, and we question them until we forget about them. But maybe something really important that happens to you that makes you see life differently, and it gives you confidence in yourself. I can give examples here as well, but I think it wouldn't help. It'd probably make it worse. But it's just like a revelation, an experience that changes the belief system in some way. And it gives you confidence in yourself. And there's even a feeling here with regards to the starseed cards and the belief system feeling and the 12th house in Jupiter, that you may actually have a particular way of looking things with regards to beliefs and spiritualism and religion, that you may feel that with the inner strength card and the strength card here, that it's more internal rather than external. You perhaps, I don't know, with regards to some religions, that you may have external events and something may happen internally where you actually walk away from, with these two cards here, from a situation where your belief system was before, with the full moon, Plutonic endings in your 9th house there. It's a busy month. Busy month there, Taurus. Lots of different thoughts there, probably, and the same as the last read, these two tend to come together where it feels like a belief system moves on, and you get what I feel like a feeling of empowerment with regards to how you sit in the world, what energy is running through you, how you recognize it, how you bond with other people and other events. And there's a feeling here of being really careful with your own energy before it comes out into the real world, and which could be don't run around the house chasing the dog. Don't play silly games with sharp objects, that type of thing. Keep yourself safe. If there's an opportunity to lie on the couch and somebody's asking you to go and paint the top roof or the top window, say no over the next month. Just say no. No big deal there, but just thoughts, and if they help in any way, it makes me happy. I'm going to leave you there, Taurus. Thank you very much. Bye. Hi Gemini, I'm going to take you through this journey with me these are your astrology cards, mainly as prompts for me. But what I will do, because I think we need to, you know, always need to do tarot readings together, because there's more than one person out there, hopefully, and there'll be different scenarios. So if I tell you what I'm thinking, then you can translate the bits that actually you can associate with, I suppose. You've got Pluto and the full moon in your 8th house. So the full moon to me is wrapping things up. Pluto is plutonic. It's powerful. It's subversive. It's normally big events, life-changing events. And you've got that in your 8th house. So I'm thinking with the 8th house, birth, death, resources, other people's money. So wrapping up something, I have to go through this myself, just bear with me. Wrapping up something that's quite powerful, to do with other people's money, possibly. Let me keep going. Jupiter is in your 11th house, so to me that feels like you could expand with regards to other people. It's like you're wrapping up something to do with finances, but perhaps through contacts or situations where you're out and about, being with groups of people, that you could get other opportunities, maybe. You've got Mars, Uranus and the North Node in your 12th house. To me that feels like sudden endings, full stops to situations, possibly to do with new opportunities, financial decisions. Yeah, new financial opportunities after you've actually put a full stop to something up here. Your new moon is in the 3rd house. Okay, so what I'm getting from this so far with regards to the astrology, possibly for your next month, which is July, would be get yourself out as much as possible. People are going to give you the opportunities to get moving. There could be financial changes afoot. That's what I've got. Let me see how the cards fall, and we'll see if we can get some more information. Okay, to me this does feel financial. There's a feeling here that if you've been waiting on something like knowledge or information or money from somebody else, it feels like, and you've had to sort of make yourself independent with regards, perhaps you've been promised money, whether it's from your work situation where you're waiting for back pay, or perhaps a parent or a friend owes you something, or a parent's going to help you out, and it feels like there may be some sort of revelation with regards to your independence that's going to be quite painful. You knew it was coming, and it does come. It feels like you don't get some sort of help, you don't get some sort of finances, or something that you've applied for possibly, where you're trying to get maybe money off somebody that may come to you may come to understand isn't going to happen. It feels like you need to take alternative routes here. It feels like all is lost, but you've got to be quite crafty with regards to your next choices, your decisions. There's a really strong possibility that the more that you reach out to others, and I don't mean going asking people for money, or it's the more you network. This is probably where your clues are, the 11th house, Jupiter, the new moon in the 3rd house. The more that you communicate, the more application forms you get out, the more that you just get your head out there and to be seen is going to bring out the best situation. Because you've got the card after here of lying low. That is not what you should be doing. That's going to make you feel sorry for yourself if you basically pull out of life. Your happiness, I feel, is going to be found in movement over the next month, Gemini, which is good for Gemini. But it does feel like it doesn't have to be something big. It's just your month ahead. You know, you could not get like a £50 that your mate owes you, or you could not get your bonus ready to book your holiday, and it all just becomes a realization. As I said, months ahead are never really that exciting, in some ways for the best. But It's like, don't lose heart next month. Keep yourself moving. Do something different. Shock yourself with a new attitude. And, you know, if you're quite introverted, this is saying get out with people. You know, make sure that you make the effort. You've got the new moon in the 3rd house. Email somebody, phone somebody up, go out and do something. Just one thing this month, and you know, who knows what may open up will get you out of that sort of rabbit in the cabbage patch feel. Jupiter in the 11th makes me think of charities as well, so I don't know whether it feels like you're waiting for something. It feels like you're quite an independent person, but you were sort of expecting something, whether you were owed it or whether it was just hopeful, and you may not get it. It may not, doesn't have to be finances. It doesn't have to be finances, but it feels as if it's confusing, and it could even be like, you know, family money. There's a feeling here as well with this bunny card here. With Mars, Uranus, North Node in the 12th house. And that little rabbit there is lying low. And I'm telling you to make sure you keep moving the next month. You know, just one of those months where you just, which if you are a Gemini, is there anybody out there who is a Gemini and always finds every year that June is the busiest month ever? It always has been my whole life, I swear it. This has got this feeling here as well that, I don't know which way this goes. You've got doing something differently, and you've got what I would say advice or feelings here to network. But then you've got a card here of lying low with Mars and Uranus, North Node in your 12th house. So it feels like lying low that you get what I feel doesn't feel positive. It feels like some sort of nasty revelation that you don't want to spend too much time on yourself. You know, when you stay in too long and you think, yeah, I'm going to stay in all weekend, I'm going to stay in all Monday too, and it gets to Sunday night and you start feeling a little bit depressed. That's what it feels like a bit to me. It feels like your happiness is to be found in movement, and with these cards here and the Mars and Uranus, that if you stay in too long, you might actually get some sort of insight that you're not quite as independent as you thought you were with the 9 of Pentacles here, which is, I've had that. I have had that. I remember my husband going away for 3 days, never get time to myself. I was in my 20s, absolute bliss. Friday night, rolling around the bed, windows open, music blaring, stuffing custard creams in my mouth, getting up, having a bath, going for a run. Loved every second of it. By Sunday night, I was almost crying. And I love time to myself. So this is what it feels like. No great shakes this month with regards to what I would say is huge events here. But to sum it up, this is what I guess you should keep your ears and eyes out for next month would be... if there's any expectation of money, opportunities, financial rewards, or something from people outside yourself coming towards you, I wouldn't hold your breath. I would keep myself busy. I would get out. I would be with as many people as I possibly could. Say yes to most of the opportunities that you think may be coming towards you. Pick the phone up, invite people out, go out for that drink, book that weekend away and enjoy it. Don't spend too much time on yourself. Your happiness is to be found elsewhere, I think, here. The 12th house to me, the North Node, Mars and Uranus, to me it feels like, don't over meditate either, because you could have some horrendous electrical experience. With Mars and Uranus in the 12th house, and this card here, this little rabbit looking like he's basically been electric shocked in the cabbage patch. I remember reading a book by Judy Hall, an astrologer, and she looked into people's past lives, which makes me think of this. And it was like Mars, Uranus, contacts in people's charts, and she was saying, it was great, it was something like, it wasn't great actually, that was very childish, but it was saying that people who had incorrectly experimented with electrical energy inside their bodies, had normally overdone it, overhashed it, and it was just coming through to fear. So don't do that. If you are into some like Kundalini meditation, anything like that, I would probably don't try something new next month, because you don't want to be end up like that little kid off the Jurassic Park who got thrown off the electric fence. Okay, Gemini, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye. Hi Cancer, I feel like because you're Cancer I need to speak softly too, so I'm going to speak softly and I'm going to explain slowly for you. What I've got down here is I've got the cards that are going to help me with the astrology with regards to what's going on in your chart the next month, and hopefully it will feed into a small tarot reading. You've got Pluto and the full moon that's like absinthe, the full moon in your 7th house. So Pluto and the full moon is wrapping up something extremely strong, maybe something subversive, maybe something psychological in your 7th house. So this could be either an insight with regards to a business partner, or with regards to a romantic venture or a romantic experience. It feels like you understand it. It feels like a parcel that you're wrapping up and saying, yeah, I can see that, I understand that now. Maybe depends on the other planets in your chart, whether it's positive or negative, but let me keep going and have a look at your cards as well. You have got Jupiter in the 10th, so to me that feels like a good, the possibility of a good month with regards to your career, with pushing yourself forward, with job opportunities that possibly come towards you rather than you having to apply them, or luck that comes your way in a work situation, or to do with your social standing in some way, or even to do with your parents, especially your father. So if your father's waiting for news, or in some sort of experience where he's waiting for that bit of luck, it's going to change some direction, it very much could come over the next month. You've got Mars, Uranus and the North Node in the 11th house. So that to me feels like some sort of shock, like a shock tactic with regards to friends or hopes and wishes. Not sure as yet. I'm just going through it myself as well. And the new moon in the 2nd house is like new opportunities with regards to resources. These are regards to how you see yourself, your self-worth and money. So work looks good so far. Work opportunities and work situations, maybe it's a good time to ask for a raise, to be honest. With other people, as in friends and lovers, business partners, there could be change of foot there. That's what I've got so far. So let's get your cards out, see what we can see, and then see if we can feed in something there to get this into a reading that could help you over the next month. And as I said earlier, the month ahead very rarely are massive changes, but sometimes change's got to happen sometime. Let's just see. Cancer month ahead for July. Okay, so to me, I would be taking that what you would grasp from the end of this month has got more to do with friends, relationships, or business partnerships, or groups of people, of changes that will be made, things that are understood, and battles are fought, and you know where you stand, and it all becomes incredibly clear to you. You've got the Queen of Swords at the beginning, clarity to do with thought. You've got the Five of Swords in the middle with a fight going on between a big black scorpion, perhaps somebody in a powerful position. I don't know, doesn't really feel like that from over here, but it's like an argument or a shift in relationships where somebody thinks that they basically got the upper ground. What is it? Yeah, taken all the ground. I can't think. And they're pushing you back. And it moves backwards and forward. And you realise that it feels like subversive tactics with regards to relationships, whether it's business. You become quite aware of it. You may already be aware of it here, the fact that this comes first. And the Mars-Uranus, North Node, 11th house. I don't know. decisions will be made. It's like blockages. It feels like next month that you come to sort of a... There's lots of scenarios here. Let's just say, for instance, you live with a partner and you have one of those arguments which everybody has, and it turns into something bigger than it initially was. You start off scrapping about shopping bags left on the kitchen floor, and it ends up packing bags to go and move out. Let's just say something like that happens when it blows up into something else. There's a lot going on below the surface, and friends may be able to help you out, or maybe called in very quickly. Or in the other way around, it could be something happens, an accident with a friend, with or something that you've been hoping to do. There's a shock to do with it that you can't actually do it anymore, because the 11th house is hope and wishes, and it will be your partner that supports you through it. I don't know. Oh, I don't know yet. Bear with me, I haven't pulled it together. Cancer. Safety, revelations, understandings, new beginnings, probably with regards to reaching outwards, something you wish to do. There's a fight going on, possibly, of leaving family relationships, love relationships, moving away from somebody, or somebody moving away from you, putting an full stop to something that you've held on to and that you've believed in for quite a while. Yeah, that's made you happy. Movement to do with, I think, relationships. I'm feeling blocked. Okay, there's a feeling here that somebody you have your eye on, somebody that you're drawn to, perhaps a relationship that could be a friend-based relationship. It feels there's a possibility here that that person may move away from you, may actually physically move house in some way here. There's a feeling that... this fight here has got to do with Pluto, has the imagery, the full moon black, and the full moon white, and Pluto black. And they're fighting here. So you've got that in the 7th house. So that will be to do with business. There's a fight going on with business partnerships or relationships. You like it. It feels like either you win, or that you get the upper ground, or you gain the understanding. With a full moon, you wrap it up and you're happy with where it ends. This energy here, to me, feels like clarity and stability with regards to a hope or a wish. It must go with this pile here. And the end card here is the King of Pentacles and the Three of looking out from a stable viewpoint, stability. And not moving. Okay, let's just say you're in work, you've got business partners, and there is something going on between the pair of you over the next month where you're pushing and pulling with each other. You, I think, gain the upper ground. You gain more confidence in yourself. You may even get a leg up with regards to your career, having Jupiter in the 10th card, the King of Pentacles, and the Three of Wands looking outwards, which is the hopes and wishes, which is a shock. You may have things come towards you that you never expected, and that is through applying yourself in a situation which either feels like conflict, or it feels like you're being pushed out into the public eye with Jupiter in the 10th there. Like you have to do a presentation, or you have to do something where it makes you feel slightly out of your depth, but in doing that, it's going to lead to that Jupiter in the 10th opportunities, I think, here. Looking out, more responsibility. And there's like stability and insight here and clarity. You may even, I would call on friends to help you to do this. If you've got groups of people around you that can help you get to some sort of wish fulfillment in a work situation or scenario that could lead to new financial opportunities, then include lots of people with you. Get things moving. This is a month to be brave, actually. Sorry it's taking me so long to get here, Cancer. It's a month to be brave in the outside world with regards to work and money. Pull upon your friends and assert yourself, even if it puts other people in work, puts other people's noses out of joint in work. So that's what I've got, Cancer. Sorry, that's a bit of digging and delving. It's difficult to pull in these cards in here, but I think that it should be more valuable, the fact that you've got the astrology with it, if you can get to the point, of course. So to summarise, Cancer, assert yourself in work, push through any sort of problems with regards to other people in work, especially partners. You may get that, but you've got the chance of fulfillment financially and with regards to your career over the next month. You will probably get into a position, if you include other people, with regards to, you know, take people with you or get people to help you to get where you want to be. It's part of a group here, where you could possibly make things easier for others as well. So they help you to get to a certain point, and you help them in some way by making their life easier or by serving them in some way from a different position. So that's what I've got. So I hope that feels right for somebody out there. Thank you very much for spending your time with me. Bye. Hi Leo, let's have a look at your month ahead for July. I've got these cards down here. They're basically to help me to remember the astrology, to feed it into your reading. I'll go through it very briefly with you. It might help. It may open you up to your own thoughts as well as I go through it. You've got the full moon and conjunct Pluto in the 6th house. So the full moon is normally like completing things, ending things, wrapping things up. Pluto is normally something that's quite strong, subversive, often things that are actually below the surface that feel very powerful. In the 6th house, that may have something to do with work situations. So that could be ending a situation or calling the shots in a situation, to put a full stop on it in a work scenario, or to do with everyday routine, maybe even exercise. We don't know yet. You may, I don't, but I'll hopefully build on it with the cards. Jupiter in the 9th house. Now, Jupiter in the 9th house to me is the 9th house is Jupiter anyway. So it's like belief systems. It's reaching outside ourselves and being benevolent and kind and working in groups and for others, further afield from our usual everyday situations, everyday scenarios. And Jupiter goes retrograde at the end of the month. So that becomes more internal. So that to me speaks of belief systems, how we see ourselves, how we feel as I'm going to say spirits then, but I think I actually meant that, you know, how we see ourselves as anything other than flesh. And it's inward, and it's like almost like a retrograde planet with Jupiter in 9th is almost like a knowing, an understanding in a very sort of laid back, feeling it rather than trying to grasp it. Not sure what I mean by that yet. Bear with me. Mars, Uranus, North Node in the 10th house. That is possibly something shocking to do with your social standing. And it will normally be something, depending on the transits that are happening at the time as well. Well, Mars will conjunct Uranus, where it will be like a wake-up call. It could be a quick incident. It could be something that is revealed very quickly, that is normally wakes you up in some way, and that will have something to do with your parents, possibly your dad, possibly work, possibly career. So, and the new moon in your 1st house, it's like you come out of this situation feeling quite all-knowing, and almost like you get new opportunities to be yourself. So I'm thinking work changes. So, yeah. Work, this feels like work orientated at the moment, and it changes your mindset, who you are, and your belief system. There was some, as a reading, I think Taurus came out very similar as well. So let's see what the cards say, and we can sort of see if we can build them together to try and get a more accurate reading. Okay, to me, off the top of my head, it makes me think that you're going to get some sort of opportunity in work, something that's going to be quite a shock. You're not expecting it coming. It feels as if it's positive. It feels like more stability, more financial stability. Quick news coming in, just like a letter that comes in or a phone call. Would you like to do this? Would you like to, move to this place and do this? Or it feels like it's more money. It feels like it's something you want to do rather than something you don't want to do. This heartache card, the Three of Swords with the Two of Pentacles here, makes me think that there will be decisions to be made that, shock your everyday routine. It feels like that you've got an opportunity to change over the next month regards to work. It may not be something big. It could be just like spending a week in another office, or it could be studying, or, with 9th house and Jupiter here, a chance to further yourself, a new opportunity. You go away for a weekend, but it's something that you should take. It feels like it's going to add to your, I hate this word, skill set. To me, skill set is the worst word on earth. What is it too? You always get the word skill set in work when somebody wants you to do something that you don't want to do. But you've got the skill set. Oh, no, please, no. That's what it always feels like. When I say the word skill set, I have fear in my chest. But it feels like it's a chance to add to your skill set. It's a chance to possibly have more to give in the future. You've got the Two of Cups. You've got the King of Cups here at the bottom. Is giving. This has got a very giving feeling at the end of it. You've got Jupiter in the 9th house. It feels like you have a fantastic skill set to share with everybody. It does feel like you get an opportunity over the next month that feels uncomfortable. You may not want to go away for the weekend. You may not want to change office. You don't want to change your job, but your routine changes in some way. Full moon, Pluto, 6th house. You've got the new moon in the 1st house. It allows you to see yourself in a different way. And this feels like career and work. It may not be something big. It may even be like training somebody up with Jupiter in the 9th. Somebody new comes in. But with that person coming in, you get on really well. You might initially be, no, hold on, I don't want that. I'm quite easy. I've got enough work, thank you very much. Don't give me somebody else to train up. And then you actually get on and it helps you. New moon in the 1st house, see yourself in a new way, which oftentimes that is what happens, isn't it? It's like being dragged out on a rainy day, but it's nice and it's windy and you really enjoy yourself and you come back with a fresh mindset, skill set mindset. Yeah, this feels like a positive month, Leo. I think I gave advice to Aries and totally forgot for the other ones. I'm going to give you some advice. My King. Do you know what I was going to say when I got that out? I don't normally put this card back because I don't know what it means to me. My King, to me, I was thinking Leo before. Nobody gives Leo advice because they want to, they want to do it themselves because they're Leo. My King is saying that just be Leo about the whole thing. Just expectant, do your best, be warm to people. Allow life to come to you this next month, but say yes to different things. If you get an opportunity to come outside your comfort zone, especially if it helps somebody, even if it rocks your daily, especially if it rocks your daily routine. No, I don't want to do that. I've got to go to the gym in the morning. I've got my hair appointment next Tuesday. I can't do it. Just say yes to it. Take the routine out of this. Do something different. If it helps people, do that too. And the Mars Uranus in the 9th house, a new moon, it could lead to new opportunities in work, new connections, new possibilities, new skill set. Right, Leo, I'm going to leave it there with what feels like a positive month for changes that you may rebel against initially, but it would be good to say yes to them. Especially if you can give somebody a helping hand, because it's going to lead on to more things for you that are going to allow you to be more Leo, more of yourself, more of the centre, more love, more warmth. Okay, Leo, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you very much. Bye.
Good morning, Virgo. If they're your Virgo rising, Virgo sun, Virgo moon, it doesn't really matter. The houses apply, well, in a more exact way, I suppose, if you are Virgo rising. So that may help with the houses. This is what I've got for you for July. I've got down here all the planets and where they sit to remind me, but I'll go through it with you to begin with because I hope that we're going to interpret this together, because I suppose it is always, especially in group readings, meeting each other halfway. You have got full moon in Pluto in your 5th house in July. So the full moon is like wrapping things up. It's like a completion in some way. Conjunct Pluto has got to be something what I would feel is quite strong, quite profound, quite... it's going to make quite an impact in your 5th house. So that could be almost like, if you've got a child, these are possibilities. I will put them in with the tarot reading, but let me just go through it and then we'll get to the tarot reading and then hopefully it'll be a bit more succinct. Oh no, I'm not doing that. Hi Virgo, I'm here. I have got all your cards out because I have started, but then I've had so many different thoughts. Your astrology cards are down the side here and your tarot cards are here. So I'm looking at your month ahead, especially if you're Virgo rising. It doesn't matter if it's sun or moon, but Virgo rising, the houses will apply in a more specific way. You have got here, I'm going to go with these cards first. I normally go with the astrology cards, but you've got the Page of Cups and you have got the 7 of Swords in the center here. So I'm thinking something sweet, like maybe a child or somebody you're attracted to that you're just getting to know, and it's all, you know, it's all like light and fluffy and candy floss, and then you change your mind and go another direction over the next month in July. The reason I'm saying that is you've got the full moon conjunct Pluto in the 5th house, so you could have an attraction to somebody that may be slightly obsessive, but you're enjoying it because it's got a sweet feeling about it here. You've got a new moon in the 12th house down here during July as well, which makes me think there's going to be some sort of internal revelation, a shift inside your mind that is almost like a misty shift. It slowly happens. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm basing this reading, as far as I can tell, with regards to somebody you're attracted to. There is another possibility that you may have a child around you or somebody who you protect that is going through changes themselves, and you may support them through it, or you may be supporting them through it. The reason that I say that is you've got a caution card here, as if you're aware that this relationship or this child going through this issue may actually be struggling with it, and so you are trying to add support, or you are being wary about revealing yourself with regards to somebody that you're attracted to. You have got the King of Pentacles here, and you've got movement that feels to me like the full moon and Pluto and the 5th house. So you're moving away, or your child is moving away from what they think. It's like you've got a mindset, and that's what's happened in your life up until now. You're attracted to that person, that is it. You're attracted to them. Then it starts shifting. And I was saying earlier with regards to the Virgo here, Virgos tend to be very good with details. They tend to worry very easily. They can be very exacting with regards to how they see people and what they find attractive. And I was given an example about a guy I was really attractive to in work when I worked in office once. Still extremely attractive guy. But he walked into the office and I was working with this very attractive lady who was like the boss's wife in the end. And she started poking fun at his trousers being too short. And I thought that was really mean. And the poor guy went bright red and scurried out. But with Virgo there may be one particular thing that doesn't quite do it with regards to continuing your attraction with somebody. And everybody's got something, haven't they? Whether it's short trousers, that didn't work for me, I still liked him. But there are some things that some people just say, ugh, that's not happening for me. And with Virgo, it could be cleanliness, it could be tidiness, it could be that iron skirt, that iron shirt, and it could be not having dribbles on you. I did a video not long ago, which was a lesson, and I dribbled down my shirt. Not enough to change it, mind you. And I asked my son, I said, can you edit that out, please? not in a really vile way like that, but please, could you edit that out? To which he put almost like it looked, this is really cringy, a white misty path along my chest. But when it was edited, it also seemed to come across my hair and look like I was coming out of a cloud. I left it.
thought he looked great, really. Right, and then you move on to the Three of Cups, the Chariot, at the end of this. So towards the end of the month, Jupiter turns retrograde in the 8th house. You've got Three of Pentacles, you've got the Chariot. It's almost like you get the go-ahead. It feels like the financial go-ahead, possibly with somebody else's money. You've got a group of people here, you've got Jupiter in the 8th, and things start moving. So if you're also, most of the time I do these readings, it's like I have to split them like that. And it feels like that again, because you've got a lot of information here. But the Three of Pentacles, Jupiter in the 8th house, other people's money, things get moving. If you're waiting for money, if you're waiting for something to start moving with regards to finances, if you're waiting to hear back about something, it could be the end of that tense feeling or that anxious feeling of, you know, when your bills come through, you're too scared to open the envelopes. It could be the end of that towards the end of the month. So financial ease, I guess, in July. And there feels like there's a healing process going on and taking a different tack with regards to romance, with regards to children, or with regards to nurturing yourself in some way. It's like one thing ends, you become aware of the situation in reality rather than what you've made up in your head, and you start moving on. Before I leave Virgo, you've got Mars conjunct the North Node and Uranus in the 9th house over July. So if you're going abroad and you're feeling tense in any way, do everything you can to not feel tense. Because Mars and Uranus are quite exact, and exacting is a very sort of lazy way to put. They're sharp energies. Things happen suddenly, and especially when that conjunction happens, you know, if you're inside yourself feeling a little bit hepped up, or you're worried about something, you're a little bit heightened about something, that could happen externally for you. So keep yourself smooth. Keep yourself smooth over the month ahead. Don't worry about anything, relax into things, move smoothly. It feels like healing, it feels like changing direction, it feels very internal. Financially, I think that something's going to come towards you that will make you feel a slight relief. But keep yourself calm, especially if you're going abroad. But then again, that could be something different. I'm going to keep it as abroad there because lots of people are going away in July, so that may apply, maybe more specific. So Virgo, that's what I've got for you for the month ahead. Changes with regards to love affairs, changes with regards to children, internal revelations, insight of the way that you want to conduct yourself. So I don't know whether it feels like a relief month, to be honest. It feels like you've been tiptoeing, you've been expecting the worst, and then something happens and you're aware of it, and you just take a totally different tack that you've not been open to before. And I don't know if that's regard to some sort of hobby or activity that you do, or with love affairs or with children. This tends to speak to me of love affairs and children, sweet love affairs, people that you're attracted to that are watery and kind, or children that you support in some way or that you worry about in some way. And then the Three of Pentacles with the Chariot card, it's like the go-ahead with regards to finances. If you're waiting for something to come through, it should come through by the end of the month, or you'll get some sort of message that releases the anxiety. Right, Virgo, I'm going to leave you there. I wish you a good month. Feels good. Okay, bye. Hi Libra, I have got all your cards down the side here with regards to the astrology. I've got your tarot cards in the centre to hopefully give you a more accurate reading. So if you're Libra rising, the houses will apply. If you're Libra sun or moon, this is a reading for you as well. But you can also stick another reading with it, depending if it's not your sun or moon and another sign is, or rising sign. So you can intermingle a couple if that tickles your fancy. Anyway, let's get going. Let's have a look what you've got going on with astrology over this July coming. You've got the full moon and Pluto in the 4th house. So Pluto to me is quite subversive. It's quite controlling at times. It's a very strong planet that makes us look inside ourselves in some ways that we don't particularly like to. You've got the full moon there, so that's wrapping something up to do with the 4th house. So that could be the mother, could be your home, or just basically what makes you feel safe. I would definitely say which I'm not going to say it. I'm going to leave it to the end. You've got Jupiter in the 7th house. If I could give one word for July, it's expansion. To me, it feels, because you've got the centre pile is the Sacred Heart and Empress. It's expansion with regards to somebody who you have known for a long time, I think. So it could even be a business partner. It doesn't have to just be love, but a Sacred Heart to me indicates somebody that you're very attracted to, somebody that you have possibly been in a long-term relationship with. It feels like luck. That's a northern way of saying luck. Luck is coming your way with regards to relationships. Business and love relationships over the month ahead. You have got Mars conjunct Uranus, conjunct the North Node in your 8th house. I know what that means to me, but at the moment I'm going to... okay. If there's somebody around you at the moment who isn't too well, there may be some sort of movement with regards to that. There could also be changes to do with finances. But I don't think it could affect your finances, but it could be like a partner's finance. It could be partner's finances. If you've got a partner or somebody you're very close to that you work with and they are expecting money in some way, there could be some almost like a message that they weren't expecting that could be beneficial, but a shock. It could be something, it could go, to me, I would say, let me look at these ones down here. I would say, because you've got Jupiter in the 7th house here and it's the 8th house of the people's money, it could possibly be something beneficial to the both of you. You have got new moon in the 8th house. The new moon is in the 11th house. The new moon is new beginnings to do with other people. So to me, I'm wondering whether it's expansion of finances, it's a shock expansion of finances, something you're not expecting. I think it will be somebody else who gets themselves into a position that they have a windfall, or there's an opportunity that they can take that takes them into a different place where things are more likely to roll towards them. You've got a feeling here of you've got expansion anyway. I didn't actually see that. And you've got, or maybe I didn't realise it. Then you've got Justice and the Queen of Wands. Okay. Just a possibility there, or it is possible that you could be offered something in the workplace, or something that allows you to move, or allows you to change who you are. There's a possibility of opportunities coming in that may be part of a partnership where you could be moving abroad or moving office that could cause changes in your home environment. There could also be just an influx of money to do with your partner or to do with somebody that you're close to that allows you to do something, and even like an extension, or move house, even with regards to these cards here. Like something starts opening up. Okay. Which could also, with the new moon in the 11th house, introduce you to lots of different things. As I was talking about expansion and multiplication of things with the Empress here, you could be introduced to new friends. With the new moon in the 11th house, it could be new friends, a new social group. Okay, it's all coming to me very slowly, Libra. You have got the 5 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the
Okay, it could cause home disruption here. I think the Five of Wands, this movement could be something, to me it feels like you get offered something. It's part of a partnership. It's part of something you work with. It causes you to feel like you're unsettled. There's opportunities there where you get a chance to move into a new social group. Doesn't have to be a new job, but to me it feels like it's connected to somebody else. The Wheel of Fortune here is like you want to take it, but it will upturn or upchurn part of your home life or your group of friends that you had already. So it feels like shifts over July. Not everything is going to be dramatic. It's just your month ahead. It could be opportunities, things coming into your I'm going to say eye line there with the Sacred Heart and Empress that are like paths that you want to take, but you're almost like sitting back thinking, oh my heavens, I will have to pack my house away, or you get to that stage, which isn't easy for you. But to me, with the Jupiter in the 7th house, if somebody comes to you and offers you something, then I would move towards it, even if it feels like the response could be difficult for you. Let me just change. I'm thinking change there. The Five of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune. Why the 8th house? It's endings. It's endings and new beginnings for you. To me, it doesn't feel like something highly significant will happen in July. I just feel like it's a bit of a change of direction. It's a bit like this is something that's opening up for me. I'm going to take that path, but it will mean a lot of shutting off things at home. New beginnings, new friendship groups, new opportunities, and it feels like the ball's rolling, and that's going to be very evident in July for you, Libra. That's what I think that speaks to me about here. With the cards down here, with all this here, that's where I would put my energies into. Accepting change, taking the opportunity of things that come to you from other people. I would start tying up things at home that feel like they've had their day. Whether it is basically getting rid of an old sofa or whether it is packing your bags to move on somewhere else, it's time to start moving. Things are coming to an end that have made you feel secure. It's time to start spreading your wings a little bit, I think. And then that will be led by other people. Other people will be there to give you a helping hand. So say yes. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you very much, Libra. Hi, Scorpio. This does actually feel like a Scorpio pile. For your month ahead for July. If you're Scorpio rising, the houses will apply more so. If you're Scorpio sun or moon, it will still apply, but the houses may be a little bit shifty for you. I have got your astrology cards down here and your tarot cards here. It feels very subtle. This whole spread feels subtle. It feels like you've been watching, you've been waiting, you've been observing, and you change your tactic with regards to how you communicate things. It feels like you're actually going to say something to me. It feels like you've been watching somebody, which is so Plutonic. You've been thinking, you've been trying to understand where they're coming from, and it feels like you say something. It doesn't feel like it blurts out in a very aggressive way. It feels like you just speak your truth. You've got the full moon, Pluto, the 3rd house. So in your 3rd house, sorry. So that to me is making me feel that it's an accumulation and an ending of regards to observation of the way that somebody talks to you or the way that somebody communicates. This could have something to do with your siblings. The reason I'm saying that is I could go down the road that it could be short journeys, changing in short journeys, but to me, because you start off with the Hangman here and the Judgment, it feels to me like you have been watching somebody talk what you probably interpret as a load of rubbish, and you've said nothing, because you've got the next card here is the 8 of Swords. It feels like you've sussed out their nature in some way, and there's a sense of understanding where they're coming from that has healed you, which sounds strange, I know, but sometimes when people act up or when people are silly or when people are rude to us, the way that they think, the way that they communicate allows us to realise who we are. Because everybody's coming, if we could search for injured parts of ourselves, where we're hurt or where we're wounded, where we feel unloved, everybody's got something, but not everybody projects it outwards. So I wonder whether you've had your eyeballs on somebody and been thinking,
yeah, you're not coming from a good place. I'm going to keep quiet. Because with the Eight of Swords here and the Page of Cups, the full moon, Pluto in the 3rd house, it's like you've stopped observing and now you're going to speak. But it comes out in a very kind, giving way, where it's like you put a full stop to this person's actions. And it could be a brother, it could be a sister with your 3rd house there too. And there could even be a feeling of you mentally with the Six of Swords moving away from a situation. With the High Priestess, these are very internal cards, very plutonic, very wise, very much still moving forward with your heart, but in a way that says, that's it, that's enough. And the High Priestess card here with the Six of Swords is like you understand your own wound, you understand other people's wounds, and you're fine with that, but you keep moving. It's like you give up playing, to me, it feels. Now, on top of that, this actually, because you have got Mars conjunct Uranus, conjunct the North Node in the 7th house, this could also apply to a long-term relationship. You're somebody who you obviously feel a lot of love for. You've been watching them. Things have been going a certain direction. It could be something quite, if it's a long-term relationship, the Judgment card here in the Hangman, it could be something quite specific that is a bigger deal to you. Like, you know, where do you want to live? Or what else could... what your career is or where you want to move next in life, and then you have a conversation. So I know this is the month ahead, so it isn't actually going to be that different, probably, but it's like a conversation where things are brought out to the surface with the Eight of Swords coming to the surface, and there's some sort of enlightenment between two people with the 7th house, and Mars and Uranus is like there. It's like you know it straight away. It's like lightning. You understand. It feels like you're both coming from a good place, but it feels like there's a movement going on. You're playing with ideas, whether you're doing it together. It doesn't have to be an argument. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels like a decision that's made that you may not have thought about before, and it's got something to do with relationships, partnerships, and observation and communication. You know where you're coming from. You're already steady in this month ahead. You have also got here the new moon in the 10th house. Great new opportunities probably in work. I would interpret his work here because you've got Jupiter in the 6th house as well. So alongside these cards, you've also got feelings of progression in work, you know, things coming towards you. Jupiter in the 6th house is fantastic for people in work, seeing your potential, or you're basically seen in a good light and you get new opportunities. It doesn't feel like anything magnificent is going to happen, like they're going to march into your office or wherever you work and say, I've never told you how fantastic you are. Here you are, you're head of the business. It's more a case of things working out well for you, being seen in a good light, getting an opportunity where you actually shine, you know, people being very generous towards you, support, and even like help with routine in some way as well. But I do think it's work related because the 10th house is involved as well with new opportunities with the new moon, you know, things coming to light. So Scorpio, for your month of July, it feels like, once again, all these cards feel split to me. It feels as if there's two separate stories here. There's a story of observation, revelation, kind understanding, new directions going with close relationships. Communication is key, and to do it clearly, and to do it directly, and to do it with what I guess is good interests at heart, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say here. There's a really strong understanding of the other person's motives, but also it feels like there's kindness coming from you to say, yeah, we all feel like that sometimes, but this is what I think also. And it feels like you move into a situation with, you move on, to be honest, from a situation with, you're playing with new ideas, you're playing with new thoughts, and you've got a deeper understanding. Work feels good. Ride that pony into work. I always think make the best of the situations when they're flowing. Work, career, you're in a flow this month, so I would definitely follow that. Okay, I'm going to finish there. Scorpios, bye.
Hi Sagittarius, I have got your astrology down this side, I've got your tarot cards, only a few in the centre. I'm trying to mingle them both together to give you a more accurate reading. There's a strong feeling here just from your tarot cards, and then I will look over here at your astrology, that if you are thinking of going on some sort of spiritual retreat, getting back to your roots. Sagittarius people don't really like roots, but there's something that is almost like a compass point or a inside you that has got a lot to do with feeling content spiritually that you probably feel like you've got away from. There is a strong message here that if you are thinking of taking a course in meditation or going on a retreat during July, whether it's just booking it, then I would say that is you need to. It feels like you've been tiptoeing, you're restricted, you're confined in some way. You've been living your life through somebody else's rules for what feels like a little bit too long. I'm not saying it's a huge shift. I just feel like, to me, it makes my chest feel tight. It feels like just something that you need to move on with. You've got the full moon and Pluto, and conjunct Pluto in your second house, and that's got a lot to do with your values, a lot to do with wrapping up an era behind you, pushing it away, something that has possibly been weighing heavy on you, something that feels as if it's quite serious, and it feels like you've forgotten who you are, to me, and it feels like you've got to get that sense of self back, and it should start moving in July, but you've got to help it along. You've got Jupiter in your 5th house, which is a great planet to have. It's your planet. And to have that in your 5th house, it feels like good times are coming. It feels like, especially because you've got the shadow self here, long awaited good times. You've got here the Wheel of Fortune next to the 4 of Cups as well. That's the shadow self. It feels like you've lost your mojo. It feels like, I think I said this, Sagittarius, I think it was Amy, replied to me and said, I have lost my mojo. I think it was Amy. But that's what it feels like. The shadow self is, I'm learning my lessons. Yes, I really enjoy being whipped. Yes, I'm learning my lessons, and it repeats until the fact you've got yourself into a very un-Sagittarian state of not taking opportunities. With the Wheel of Fortune here, it's time to start changing. It's time to start getting a little bit of yourself back and letting go of the shackles with the Hierophant card here. That shackles aren't for you. You're not meant to have them. You've got Jupiter in the 5th house. Go out, have fun, go out, party, go out with people, talk, laugh, enjoy. Enjoy yourself. Plan a trip. Be with people who are young, who are exciting. People that make you feel good. The 5th house is making me think young. Doesn't have to be like kids, but even so, it could be kids. If you enjoy kids, just go out and play with, don't say this the wrong way, but go out and have some fun. I'm changing that one. The reason why I'm saying there's a real sort of spiritual revelation coming to you that this is where you should be, this is what's needed in your life, is because you've got the Shaman card next to the Queen of Wands. Jupiter in the 5th, living your life. The Queen of Wands, it's you, Sagittarius. The Shaman card, spirituality. Shadow self, you've done it, seen it. Okay, pass that along. You've got your values all sorted out. You've done the hard work. Now it's time to get back to being a Sagittarian. Time to take life and, grab it while it's still here, is what I always say. No, I don't always say, I just said it. Because you've got the new moon in the 9th house. It's like you need a new mindset. You need something to hold on to that is bigger. You don't want to be living your life confined with other people's small steps or other, the Page of Pentacles and the Hierophant. That is not you. You're not the Page of Pentacles. You're not the Hierophant. Shift that around if you have actually your Virgo or you've got like Taurus in there. But to me, it feels like you've been packed into a small box and you've, for a reason, possibly to feel restriction in some way, to know who you are, where you sit, that you can also shift yourself into other people's worlds to understand them better, but it feels like it's time to come out of that. July is the time, I think, for you to move, to do something that allows you to be freer, more open, and what you would term probably the new moon in the 9th house, more realise why you're here. And it isn't taking the bins out. You're not here to take the bins out. You're here for a bigger reason, to pull people along with you, to understand who we are inside ourselves rather than on the outside world.
You have got Mars, Uranus in the 6th house. Mars and Uranus are conjunct the North Node. So I've got to be really careful with interpreting this for everybody, so it's not specific to you. But Mars and Uranus together are quite volatile energies. There's always a possibility of doing things too quickly and ending up in a bit of a state here. In your 6th house, that's health related, that is work related. So to me, over this next month, I would specifically advise you to allow your Jupiterian energy to come out in your belief system and your values and where you're moving, not in your horsey energy. Keep yourself smooth, keep yourself calm, let that energy flow over you rather than coming out abruptly. Especially with regards to, if you're at the gym, if you're jogging, don't push yourself. Don't push yourself. Sit back and have a cake. Don't do the 6th house. Don't, if there's something that is forceful energy coming through the 6th house, it could be a shocking word, but to me it feels more like you could injure yourself doing something sporty, to be honest, being Sagittarius and all. So, to summarise your month ahead, Sagittarius, for July, I feel that you're coming out of a state of internal observation, of trying to be your best person, but to be honest, it's almost sucked you dry and you've lost your oomph. There's a feeling here that you get back to yourself, you get yourself, the feeling of self-worth back. You're almost like, well, I've experienced restriction like a Saturn transit. That is not me and I've had enough of it. Fine, I can see how other people do it and what a fantastic job you do too, but not you. It's time to, I would say here, new moon, the 9th house, get yourself set on something that makes your inner values tick. Why are you here? All these questions that Sagittarians just love. What is going on out there? What is going on in here? How do we fit in? How do we move forward as a whole? That type of thing. So I don't know whether you're going to book yourself some sort of yoga retreat or that it's just progression to spiritual progression, your mind, to expand your mind. Then if you are thinking of it, do it. You've got the Shaman card, the Queen of Wands, taking the reins, booking something that lets you expand and moving away from your shadow self. That work is done and dusted. Shove it aside and get moving with regards to your own set of values, not somebody else's. Okay, good luck, Sagittarius. Have a great July. I'm going to leave you there. Bye. Hi Capricorn, so this is your month ahead for July. I have got your astrology cards down the side here and what's going on in your astrology chart. If you are Capricorn rising, the houses will apply to you more so. It can slip over from one house to the other. If it's your sun or moon, it would just be, I would just basically fluff over the house bit, but the planets are still there making these aspects. You have got okay, I'm not going to go into this. I'm going to go straight into this. To me, it makes me think, I'm thinking Capricorn, normally work orientated. Finances are normally at the forefront of your mind, stability, and it will be mixing with the rest of your chart, of course. But you have got the 8 of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles, which is a good cards for a Capricorn to have. So I'm looking at this thinking, you've got something up your sleeve with regards to work. You've been chipping away at something. You've got something planned. Great for a Capricorn. And so my eyes are flicking over here. You've got the full moon and conjunct Pluto in your 1st house. So that's quite important with regards to wrapping up something and possibly starting something fresh to do with finances, because you've got the new moon in your 8th house. So to me, I think, as I said, you've got something going on here. It feels like you've been chipping, you've been working, you've had your head down, you've not been expecting applause. It's in progress and things start moving over this next month. You've got other cards here that speak of expansion, especially if you work from home or whether you're involved with people from home. Even a thought here was you may have tied your money in with your home too, which to me I wouldn't recommend that for anybody, but to me with the 4th house, Jupiter there, it doesn't, I'm not going to say anything on that just in case, because it's a big deal. You've got Mars conjunct Uranus conjunct the North Node in your 5th house. So if you've been chugging away at something with these work cards, that is like a passion project, something that you could almost term a hobby because it's part of you. It is a month for making advances, I think, on that front, for starting things, not fresh is the wrong word because it's in your 8th house. Wrapping up things and moving forward financially is what I would say. There are cards here, the star card, it's making me think that you've had something on the back burner for a while. You've got here a feeling, to me it feels like it's been difficult to get it moving. You've had lots of obstacles in your way. Lots of things have been, you've probably asked lots of people to help. It feels a bit like the little red hen here who goes around, little red hen, if you don't know the story, it's about a hen that wants to make bread, and it goes around to the rat and says, will you go plant the corn with me, or the wheat with me? And then it goes to the dog and says, will you take the grain from the mill? And they all say no. And at the end, who will help me eat the bread? And they all say yes please, and the little red hen says, sod off. But that feels a bit like that with you. It looks like you're projecting your passions forward, your project forward, where you want to go forward. People haven't been engaged with you. It feels like you've not had the help. You've done the struggle on your own here. People have had opportunities to join in with you, or you've had opportunities to ask people, but you've not really felt it's the right time. Then you've got here, your end cards are the Two of Wands twice. Now, Two of Wands looks electric, looks metal, but it's not. It's Wands, that's swords. So to me, it feels like blockages, no movement, and then something gets going, some sort of revelation. So where will that come from? Okay. Let me just put another card on that. It's what I'm thinking, see if it comes out. No, it won't. Just things get moving. Yeah, okay. What I think, your months ahead are never normally like, great beginnings, endings of novels. They're normally part of a story. So to me, I would guess here from your spread, more or less of what I've just said, especially if you work from home, and there's going to be movement. It's been slow movement already with regards to work. It feels like you've been putting your energy into something. It may feel as if you've got a little bit blocked, but your mind is still projecting forwards. You are like the goat at the bottom of the hill looking at the top here, with the star and struggling here, with the King of Knight of Pentacles taking small steps but still working hard. And you get into a position where you feel like you're still blocked, but you almost, it's like you finish something inside yourself. There's changes inside yourself that are quite profound. You could even get, it feels like, okay, I need help type of thing. I'm going to ask somebody for money, possibly. Somebody may come forward to help you out of a tight spot. You've got the new moon in the 8th house. You've got blockages here. You've got what I would say is conversations, new opportunities coming, and things start moving in, because it changes from the 2s to the 3rd house. With the Page of Wands, that little helping hand. New moon in the 8th house could be finances. To me, it feels like you're blocked. It feels like you're pushing. It feels like you deserve a break. It feels like somebody else may be able to give you a helping hand, when in the past year they possibly haven't been able to or been open to it. You've still got your mindset somewhere. So to me, this could be a feeling of, you could be good at something. There could be changes happening in your life. You could have just come out of a job, but then you're looking where to go next, and somebody comes forward and says, here's this, I can help you. I can see that your CV looks great. I can see that you've put the work in. So here's your helping hand here. You've done the work. So it's not so much the circumstances next month that are going to play. It's more the backdrop that you've done so far to get where you're going to go. And you get what I would say is a small lucky break. It's not winning a lottery. It's like a conversation with somebody. It's somebody who almost like opens a sluice gate for a bit of you to start flowing through. So it feels a little bit like a taste of freedom with regards to how you work next month, to where you want to go in work, what you want to do with your financial position, where you want to end up. It is like... it feels like wall that's blocked, perhaps with like a balloon, and somebody puts a little hole in it, but it's just like a bit of water starts coming through. You start moving, you start flowing again. Ideas start moving. Finances start moving. It's like an ease. So if I could sum this up, Capricorn, I would say your past work pays off for you to start flowing over July. And it feels like it's much needed because it feels like there has been blockages. So that's what I've got there for you, Capricorn. You can intermingle that reading with your sun, moon, or your ascendant, or your, did I say sun, moon? With your sun sign or your moon sign or your ascendant sign. So try and see how they both fit together. I'd probably pick 2. I think 3 will totally confuse you. So I would pick probably 2. Most people don't even know their ascendant sign, especially as in Britain, because they never used to put it on our birth certificates. I made my husband wear 2 watches. Anyway, I'm going to leave you, Capricorn. All the best. I hope things do flow for you as you would like them. Bye. Hi Aquarius, so your month ahead for July, if you're Aquarius rising, the houses will apply to you more so. It can depends on where you were born at, how far along Aquarius you were born, whether it's like 2 degrees or 28 degrees, but they should apply. If your sun or your Aquarius sun or moon, it may not apply with regards to the houses, but let's get going. There is a feeling here of I would guess frustration, mental stagnation at the moment, that has got a lot to do with trying to find a balance between being yourself and being what other people think you should be. It feels like you've been it feels like you're wrapping something up. So let's go up here. You've got the full moon in conjunct Pluto in your 12th house. So that is an ending of or wrapping something up with regards to that feels either obsessive, that feels controlling, that feels as if it takes up a lot of your mental energy. It feels quite full on, to be honest. And that, to me, the 12th house is quite reflective house, quite subtly observant house, especially with Pluto there. So I feel that you feel that you've stagnated a little bit, because you have got the 4 of Cups and the 8 of Swords in the centre spread here. So that is almost, you've got yourself into a state where you possibly you don't find the joy of saying yes. It's like, well, if I could actually picture myself doing what I feel like I've got an opportunity to do, would I enjoy it? And at that particular moment, you've thought too much about it and it's gone stale. There's a feeling here that, being Aquarius as well, your mind processes are normally quite heightened. You can be almost a little bit too mind orientated, and you've wrapped yourself up with these cards here. Full moon, conjunct Pluto, 12th house, and having these cards here, it's your mind is not serving you the way that it should be serving you with Aquarius. The good news is in July, you have got the 2 of Wands, which is also got electric on it, very Aquarius. It's like the 2 of Wands, it can be stagnant, but it's like things are starting to move. The electricity is flowing through you. You're getting new opportunities, new mental possibilities. Things start to feel exciting again. You've got the Knight of Cups here. It's like offers, and you're back to yourself. You're back to the star here by the end of the month. Why are you back to the star? Mind processes again. This is all internal. It's not so action orientated, your July here. You've got Jupiter in the 3rd house. The 3rd house is the way that your mind thinks, the way that you communicate. It turns retrograde at the end of the month, so it's like you almost know, you understand. It's like, stop, here I am, this is me, I'm ready to move forward. It's like you have been trying to balance yourself too much with regards to who you should be, where you should be. It's like new beginnings and endings in your mind, but they haven't actually happened. There could be changes with regards to your home environment as well over the next month. It feels like if it is a change, it would be quick, significant, and it's like something that's said, something that's spoken, or something that happens fast. You've got Mars conjunct the North Node, conjunct Uranus in your 4th house here. You've got here the World card, the Sun card here. So to me, it makes me think of balance and home. The World card is like ending. The Sun card could be children. So there could be children leaving home. There could be you could possibly have, as if you've got older children, you could have a child coming home, and because of the 6 of Pentacles here, they want to go and move into their own flat, or they want to make a change. They want to end something and start something new, which may change your mental process with regards to where you're going in your life too. Doesn't have to be children. This Sun card could be creativity, could be basically expansion in some way of you. Very much with these cards here. It feels, if that is the case and you haven't got grown-up children, with the 6 of Pentacles here, it feels like you've been trying to balance yourself out, because that's probably what you do very well. You want to be the best you possibly can. But to me, there's also, because these cards are mental and probably dissatisfied at the centre, it feels like you've done too much of trying to do that and you've lost your natural flow with the Sun card here. And then it starts coming back, because it's almost like, if you look at this card here is Aquarius, you're dissatisfied mentally here. It's like, something you can offer me whatever you want, I'm not really that interested. Then you've got the Aquarius card, and it feeds down almost like the electricity comes through here. It's offered through the Knight of Cups and ends up in you, the Star card, by the end of the month, which fits in really well with the Jupiter in the 3rd house here. It's like you know who you are. You're able to communicate it better. You're actually thinking the same way that you're able to act, which I feel like here it's been a little bit almost forced in some way, doing the best thing that you feel looks good but isn't part of you. And how often do we do that? How often do we follow what somebody else has done and think this is what I should be doing? And with Aquarius, you've got to find a different way of doing it. It won't feel like you at all. Unless it's fresh, unless it's new, it's going to feel stale to you. That's what Aquarius is. The star looks forward. You want to change things. You need to change things. You need to take a different tack, otherwise you're not going to move away from this energy here, which feels, I feel like I'm telling you off. With the 4 of Cups here, it's like you want to get that excitement back in your life. You want to unbind yourself in some way. There's a really... I wasn't going to share this, but I am. My mum turned to me, actually turned to my sister. My sister relayed it to me and said, "Nah, Shannon, I'm not. It's too personal. I'm just going to say, move with your energy. Take the chance while you can. Get back to being yourself. This is... it's time to move. It's time to get yourself excited about life again. In July, you don't have to make big steps. You don't have to throw yourself into something absolutely magnificent, but just start moving back to be who you want to be. Once again, this has got the 12th house here. It's ending a mental process. It's ending, I don't know what I want. This is not really flowing. It's all about starting fresh here with regards to how you think, what you want out of life, how you're going to communicate, how you're going to get the ball rolling. Start small. Even if it's the Mars Uranus 4th house here, that could even be starting small with a project at home, but start doing something that is you. And that excitement will get you rolling into something else. Right, okay, Uranus, Aquarius, I'm going to leave you there. To me, the way forward is all inside your head over July. You probably tried too hard to be something that you're not, and it's stifling your creative flow. Say goodbye to that. Full moon, Pluto, 12th house. Goodbye. So the World card then starts progressing onto the Sun card. You're not balancing it anymore. You're becoming part of the Sun, part of expansion, part of warmth, part of self-expression, part of being a kid again. The Aquarius dribbles all the way down here and ends in the Star. You end up being you, looking forward, being different, and just being you. Full stop. I'm going to go. Goodbye and good luck. Bye. Hi Pisces, let's have a look at your month ahead for July. I've got your astrology cards down here, more of a prompt for me to be honest, so that I know what's going on in the skies, and then I can look at your cards and hopefully swivel the two together to make a more accurate reading. As I was putting these cards out, I was thinking of, oh lordy, what's the name of... Carnival of the Animals, you know, the music. When I was in school, when I must have been about 8, a supply teacher came in, and every lesson before that was basically dull as ditch water to me. Not every lesson, most lessons to me. A couple of RE lessons when I was colouring in the Sea of Galilee, loved that. But she came in with a Carnival of the Animals, and we sat in a circle around her, and she put on the music, and I was lost. Totally lost. I'm thinking Pisces, I'm thinking the music of the fish of Carnival of the Animals. It makes me think of there's some very sort of mystical, magical, very delicate music out at Edward Scissorhands as well. And then as I put these out, your card comes out with the fish going around in circles. So a significant month with what I term as a... What was I thinking when I put them out? To me, it feels like an internal month. It feels like movement in a practical way. It feels like ending situations, but it feels as if there's changes inside yourself this month. Changes in how you see yourself, your self-worth, and the month ahead reading is never going to be as spectacular as you may think. It is a lot of the time it's subtle. Sometimes things do happen, and to be honest, there's a possibility that that it could be a month for everybody next month, but it feels to me that it's your mental process that change mainly in the month, and you start making steps to doing something that you feel like you've been blocked, a bit like Aquarius before you, that you feel like you've been blocked in. You've got the full moon in the full moon conjunct Pluto in the 11th house next month. So to me, the 11th house is like hopes and wishes. And you've got here you and your buddies, your Pisces buddies, swimming around in circles. You're ending something with regards to what you thought may possibly have been something you always wanted to do. And possibly with the World card there, shifting onto something else where your dreams may momentarily die. But with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like you start making something substantial, or a substantial steps in a particular way that you want to move to. Let me explain. You then change to the balance card of Justice and the Ten of Wands, where you've been struggling in the past here because it moves this way. So it feels like you actually start applying yourself, and things may start rolling, not during June, but after June. And it feels as if it's got a lot to do with how you approach things mentally, how you adjusted yourself to things that may not have succeeded without actually falling flat on your face. It's like, okay, I want to make progress in the real world rather than just my head. This is what I'm going to do. And that's what happens over that month. Your hopes, your wishes, your dreams may change, but in doing that, there's more of a practical outlook in where you want to go, rather than just, with these things here, the 11th house being involved in what I would say as wrapping something up, internal, strong mindset changing. It's like, okay, that's behind me. Where am I going to go next? It's like clear eyesight and the ability to work hard to get where you see you want to be. Where you see you want to be. You've also got Mars conjunct Uranus, conjunct the North Node in your 3rd house. Once again, that could very possibly be the way that you think, the way that you communicate, your ideas, a bit like the Magician card, what you think, how you communicate it can actually change your reality. But it feels as if it becomes more grounded. It feels like the way forward is more realistic through change with your mind. And I don't know whether this change comes from somebody else. Somebody speaks to you and says, why don't you do this instead? Or, that thing that you're working towards, why don't you try this? It feels like you've been struggling in the past, because you've got here the 8 of Swords and you've got here the 4 of Swords. So that's almost like you've got the Wheel of Fortune here. There's still hope. These two Wheel of Fortune and the World card work quite nicely together. It's like hope and aspirations, very much 11th house. But the World card is that you have to change, you have to shift your perception or shift your outlook or shift your end goal to get where you want to go. And that actually means almost no more dreaming, more application with these cards, and these cards, finding that balance. So if I could put this into what I would see as a real life example. Hold on, I'm still thinking of it. You've got Jupiter in the second house as well, so that could be your self-value. Okay, let's just say magical story world that you've been involved in a project. I'm going to put it as a work project. So you've been involved in a work project, you think it's going somewhere, you know you've half put the effort in, but you're not actually that involved with these cards here. You almost feel like you're not expressing yourself possibly, but perhaps as an end goal, perhaps you're going to get a reward at the end of it, or some sort of bonus. I got a bonus teaching during COVID. I got £10. I still haven't spent it. I probably need to. I got a £10 job. I was so chuffed. Anyway, you could be working towards something, and it feels like it's not you. It feels like you're going to get something at the end of it, so you're doing it blindly. You get to the end of that, but in ending that in July, you start thinking, actually, this is what I will really want to be doing, and you start putting in the effort in. You could even be going, it's like you get more sense of yourself, the Jupiter in the second house, you know, your self-worth. It's like you're full of yourself. You could even have your finances maybe in a better place to be able to give yourself some free time to put the effort into something that makes you tick. And then that's where the balance comes out. It feels like you ease the push in the direction that was going down the wrong way. And you start pushing in a way that is probably harder work, but it's going to get the result where you know who you are at the end. Rather than, it feels like you're pushing, these cards here feel like you're pushing for somebody else's ideal, somebody else's job. And there's always that, I can't remember the quote, but there's such a beautiful couple of sentences of, if you don't live your own dreams, you end up working for somebody else who's living theirs. That is what I'm feeling, and I've said it a lot easier then. I feel that's the way. There's a revelation with regards to that in July for you. Yeah, and it is you've got Mars conjunct Uranus conjunct the North Node in the third house. It's like that. Something said, something goes into your head and you think, sod that. I'm going to do this and I'm going to work bloody hard to get where I want to be, and you'll be doing it for yourself, your own self-worth with Jupiter in the second house. And the new moon in the sixth house, you could even have new job opportunities, or you may choose to take new job opportunities. I'm rushing because my battery's flashing at me. New job opportunities that take you in a direction that the pain may not be as good, but you're going to be more self-satisfied. I'm going to leave that there, Pisces. I wish you well with July. Do what makes you feel more like you, that gives you that feeling of worth, that allows you to flow in a direction that feels good for you, even if it feels like it's harder. It's more an uphill struggle to get there. It will slowly evolve, I think. With the Justice card is balance. The Two of Wands is, it will get there. It may feel as if it's moving slowly, but the Ten of Wands, through effort, it will eventually unravel. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to leave you there. If you want to intermingle your reading with perhaps your sun sign or your moon sign, your ascendant sign, if it's different from Pisces, I would probably choose one more. I don't know, do what you want, to be honest, because yeah, just do. Yeah, that's what you're meant to be doing. Do what you want, but not to confuse yourself too much. I'm going to love you and leave you, Pisces. Bye-bye.